Hi, this is Heidie Calero with another economic capsule regarding not only Puerto Rico, but this time we continue with the same international theme that we started last week with Singapore, lessons from Singapore. Well, this time it's Israel at war. It's a global economy. We are in conflict, and this first graph that I'm depicting for you depicts two of these areas are now in war, but Taiwan, which is the third area, is like sit and watch for China. So they are just looking to see if they are going to invade or not. So potentially there are three areas of concern, two of which already are in war, which are Ukraine and Israel. And if you think you who live in Puerto Rico that this will not affect us, or if you live in other parts of the world, think again, because the globalization that we have impacts every country, whether it's an island, whether it's a continent. The ramifications will be felt. And this time, let's look at the second table that I'm depicting for you. It's the role of Israel in terms of its exports. What is its principal export? Diamonds. 14.1% as of 2021. Integrated circuits, it's almost 8%. Refined petroleum, it's 4%. And medical instruments is almost 4%. And the destination where these exports go, which are the principal markets for Israel, well, the US. 27% of Israel's exports go to the US. China receives about 8%, Palestine's almost 7%, and India with 4%. So it will touch almost not only the eastern part of the globe, it's going to touch as well in terms of the US. This next graph indicates what are the implications of all this conflict. Is the rise in oil prices. As you can see here, from January of 2007, we are depicting for you the price dollar per barrel of oil. And with the Great Depression back in 2007, 2008, the price of oil went up to $133 per barrel. Well, right now it's currently below 100. It's about $93. But should this conflict escalate in terms of the region, it could be as much as $150. That's the forecast that we are seeing in that graph, $150 per barrel, and that certainly will have an impact in many countries, especially Puerto Rico, that still depends in its electricity with oil. And this next graph shows you the relationship between the price of oil and the inflation in terms of consumer price index of the US. That's in 2024. The columns are the price of oil per barrel, and the line is the CPI inflation in terms of monthly basis, the same month of 1 year compared to the previous year, the same month. So if we have $150 per barrel, one correlation or regression analysis that we did between the price of oil as the independent variable and inflation as the dependent variable would suggest that we could be in the realm again of an inflation between 6 to 8%. And we just were last year, we were up to 9% in terms of inflation. So it's not a good story. But not only are prices going to be impacted, it's this next graph depicts for you the impact on interest rates. And this is the 10-year Treasury bill, which used to be back with the recession, the Great Recession, somewhere in the region of 2.9%, went down almost negative terms, but now it has been rising, and it is expected now it's of almost 2%. Expect that this could increase further if the price of oil continues escalating. And again, that's not good news, because the increase in interest rates will impact mortgages, will impact financing costs, will impact credit cards, and will make credit even more expensive for many of us. And then finally, what are some of the forecasts that some analysts have been engaging and saying that if this conflict continues escalating, well, what will it entail for some of the key economies in the world? Well, here we have in this graph, the US, it could imply negative 1.2% from the existing levels, which could be now like 5%. Well, reduce that by 1.2%. It's somewhere in the region of 3.2 or 3.8. And for China, it would imply negative 1.5%. And China has not been terribly happy with the 5 to 6% that they have currently been experiencing. So that's not good news either for the United Kingdom. It's negative 2% from current levels, and they are almost in a depression as well. And Japan, just out of that big depression that they've been for many decades, well, it would imply negative 2%. And that's just being at a bird's eye and big 20,000 miles above sea level to see what all this can imply in terms of Israel at war. If you like our economic capsule, don't forget to subscribe to the Voice of Heidie Calero in YouTube. This is a service of Puerto Rico Economic Pulse. And give us a like in those capsules that you really enjoy. And don't forget that the economy is all of us. Thank you.